Before we get to the show, an appellate court judge ruled that votes on the Bring Chicago Home ordinance will be counted during the March primary election, overturning a lower court ruling. The referendum asks voters to increase a tax paid on high-end real estate sales to fund homelessness efforts. We'll be talking more about this decision tomorrow when we round up the week's news, so make sure you come back then. In the meantime, in between time, remember, early voting is open now in all 50 wards. All right, let's talk about some birthdays. Today on CityCast Chicago, this week Chicago celebrated its 187th birthday, and our CityCast third birthday is coming up too. So that got us thinking, what are some great ways to celebrate your birthday in Chicago? Producer Michelle Navarro is here with great recommendations. Plus, she takes us to McKinley Park for a Chicago birthday party. It's Thursday, March 7th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is What Chicago's Talking About. Michelle, welcome back to the mic, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Gee, I get these vibes from you that you like celebrating your birthday. Maybe it's some things you've said, some conversations we've been in, but let's just ask straight up. Do you make a big deal about your birthday, or do you like to have a big deal made about your birthday?
I do. And I think the reason why is because I grew up in a family that makes big deals about our birthday, which I love. My parents always made sure to throw us a birthday party with all my cousins coming over, like music, food, piñata, the whole thing. And I feel like that's definitely conditioned me to be like, I need to make something out of my birthday. And it's also nice when they're the ones that are planning it for you. I think it definitely takes weight off. What about you, Jacoby? Are you a big birthday person?
Nah, I'm like fussy in the opposite way. I'm very much that person that's going to tell you to do nothing, to let me be, just let me chill out. But obviously I lean into if my friends want to hang out. One thing that's pretty routine is for all of me and my siblings' birthdays, if possible, my mom wants to do a dinner with us. But I like to go to places that she likes to go to because for me, I love to celebrate my birthday mostly by celebrating my mom. Because I'm like, I really just was like born. Like she'd tell people she climbed Jacob's ladder for like 36 hours or something. And so I was just chilling and she was doing all of the work. So my mom likes to go to places like Uncle Julio's in River North. She loves their queso. She loves their cocktails. What about you? Where would you celebrate with your parents? It's such a big deal in your family. Y'all have done birthday parties and things like that. Where's the place you go with your parents to celebrate?
Yeah, usually for my birthday, I like getting breakfast with my parents. And my parents are older. They don't really like being out late anymore very much. And so like dinner is never really an idea that I bring to them. I usually do that with friends or other people. And so I feel like in terms of like birthday with my parents, we usually like doing just kind of like a casual, nice, hearty breakfast / brunch. And so one place that I love, and I've never gone for my birthday, but I think I will tell my parents and hint at them that this is what I want to do for my birthday, is going to La Catedral Cafe and Restaurant in Little Village. They also have a location in North Lawndale. I haven't been to that one yet, but the one in Little Village is always packed because it's so good. Make a reservation before you go because by the time you get there, you're probably up in line. So like for me, I like getting the chilaquiles there because they're so good. But everything there is really good, including their café de olla, which I love. But if there's something that I like want to do in the evening, I feel like I would take them to Green Mill Cocktail Lounge just because it's super like classy. And I feel
that's where we went with Simone and her mom when she was in town. And so I like the birthday brunch vibes that you're giving off throughout the conversation now.
It's just like, it's nice. Your family's gonna like to just be up in the morning, and then you kind of not in a mean way, but in a nice way, like you kind of get rid of the family obligation. Like, all right, I saw
honestly,
y'all.
I usually don't get to do things with my family because at least on my last birthday. I went to dinner with my partner. We were just kind of chilling together. And so me and my mom will find some time during the week. But March is her birthday month. And so I might try and consider finding time around her birthday to take her to somewhere like Ooh It Is in Chatham. Their brunch and breakfast options are fantastic, as well as Cleo's in Bronzeville. But more likely than not, she gonna want to go to Uncle Julio's in River North. And so I can't front her on that. You talked about getting, maybe if it's on your birthday, they sort of getting the family stuff out early. If you were looking to do something maybe small with your friends later in the day, midday, what are your options there?
Yeah, so for like midday, maybe later in the day for small group of friends, possibly, something that I've been interested in checking out is the Chicago Bathhouse in Wicker Park. They have saunas, pools with different temperatures, massages. It's a full spa, restaurant, and cafe. The adult admission is like $43, but their website lists that if you want to have a larger group, so maybe like 5 to 10 people, you can also get a discounted rate, which I think it
Come
makes
on.
a solid, excuse to go to a spot like this with a couple of your friends. And it's just like such a relaxing way to kind of like go with the birthday vibes, and
Hmm.
I'm all for like relaxing and just like actually enjoying your day instead of like running around and like having to like manage people or events or things.
I
And
never
so
did know group spa day, so that's a great recommendation.
me neither. Like I've definitely been to spas where it's just like me and like maybe like one friend or two friends, and like we always come out just like enjoying it, and it's just kind of like a nice low maintenance, but also you get to rejuvenate and relax, while you're doing it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm probably not is low maintenance. If I am gonna be isolated, I'm usually, if it's just like me and my partner, I'm trying to go somewhere like Smith or Omakase Yume or Ever, all of these places over in West Loop that you got to save up and put a little bit of money aside for. But if I am trying to be cost effective and I want to include a couple of my friends, because that's the one thing I try not to ask my friends to go do expensive shit. So like group dinners, while they're not my favorite, if it's a spot like Demira and Uptown, right? That's a place where it's like sort of made, the vibes are for groups to come in and eat together. Versus like some restaurants can start to get expensive. And then it's that question of like, oh, does the birthday person have to pay? And who's paying for them? And are we doing separate checks? And that conversation in groups is the worst. And so that conversation in groups out in Chicago on my birthday. So last year I chose to go to the Chicago Athletic Association Hotel in the Loop. They've got a great bar, open seating. They're like a couple of basketball Papa shots you can play on. They got shuffleboard, which I get quickly obsessed with. But downstairs they also got like a Top Golf lounge, and so it was me and probably like 7 or 8 of my friends. And we all just sort of hung out there. Some people were shooting, some people were watching the game on TV. It was very cool, very relaxed, and it was also cost effective. And so because I invited all of these people out, I ended up paying for it. Right. It is my birthday, but that was sort of, people could pay for like their individual drinks and stuff, but like renting the room, I'm like, if I'm going to ask you to come out, I'm usually just going to sort of avoid the trying to get Venmo and trying to do all of those things. The birthday gift is to myself to be around my people.
Shipping can make or break a sale, so optimize how you ship your orders with ShipStation. They make it easy to automate and manage orders no matter how big your business grows. And they might even be able to help reduce shipping and warehouse costs. So optimize and keep up your momentum for growth with ShipStation. Sign up for your free 60-day trial now at ShipStation.com and use the code POD. That's ShipStation.com with the code POD.
So we talked about like some smaller gatherings, maybe hit the spa, which I'm writing that down. Thank you, Michelle. But what if you're trying to get maybe a little bit of bigger party? Maybe it's an actual birthday party, which, I ain't had one of them in a minute. Or just like a place where a lot of people can gather. What's a spot that you would recommend for folks?
Yeah, a spot would be Headquarters Beercade in River North. It's gives me Chuck E. Cheese vibes, and I love a good like adult Chuck E. Cheese party. The best thing about this spot is that there's no tokens. because kind of like what you mentioned before, like doing the whole like, oh, get your own tokens and having to take a lot for your part, like it's just like a lot. And this is
I'm
a
just trying to
spot,
play games.
right? This is a spot where you can just pull up whenever, you know, you can reserve a table. They do birthdays too, so like you can actually, like if you want to get a big space, if you do plan for a lot of your friends to come, you can definitely reserve that. But also like if you're just telling people to come up and, you know, you get a couple tables and order some food for the table, but then also just like let people do their thing, game around. Another option, and this is what I usually do, I'm lucky because I have a birthday in the spring / early summer, and so I get to be outside. I know not all people
I was
can
finna
do
say
that.
the same thing. I'm like, we'll pull up a grill.
I was about to say, yeah, just going to like your local park district. I mean, for me, like McKinley Park is a great option. Pington Park, because like the view, the skyline, and just being by the river. Of course, weather permitting, right? But it is. But the times that I've had like a birthday at a park and just like had friends come has been like really fun, and also really cheap, just because like, you know, you bring some snacks and drinks or whatever you want to do, and it just makes it easy for people. And I feel like people are more inclined to show up too, because they're like, oh, we're just gonna chill outside, and that's so much more inviting than, like you mentioned, a birthday dinner, which could be so stressful.
Yeah.
When like, you know, everything's gonna be expensive.
No, let's just pull up to Promontory Point. We gotta grab a few friends in a group chat and tell them what little things you need to bring. And I think it also has that lowest barrier of when do I arrive, when do I leave, sort of feeling awkward. Because if we outside, I literally I would walk off. I would just disappear into the trees. But if we had like we had a bar or a restaurant or something, now we kind of gotta wait and organize a little bit more. We really revealed ourselves as some cheap people. Where else you gonna take people?
I mean, it's your birthday. Like, people should be like spotting you. You know what I mean? The fact that you were saying that, like, I'll just cover it. It's like, damn.
That was blasphemous to you?
That was. You shouldn't be paying.
Nah, yeah. Super Bowl parties, all that. I'm always the person who just pays for it all and just don't say nothing.
But look, you should have that friend. You need to have that birthday sidekick. Like, if it's your birthday, you need that other person so that you don't have to be the one that's like, where's your Venmos? Did you send the money? Did you send the money? Like, you don't want to look like that on your birthday. You know, you just want to look like the birthday queen, king. But you have to have someone adjacent to you who's like, behind, like, you're just like, oh, thank you so much for coming. You're like the graceful host. Guard. And then exactly, you have the person behind you who's like, okay, but did you send the money? So that you don't got to worry about that. You have to go in with a plan.
You got one more place you taking people?
I mean, this is just like for going out sake. I love to go out dancing, and I feel like every time it's my birthday / birthday weekend, I have to have some kind of dancing. And so, I mean, that could be as easy as going to Penny Whistle in Pilsen, because like,
I'll be over in Penny Whistle, I ain't finna lie.
We got to be there, you know what I mean? Like, depending on the DJ, you can like check out beforehand like who's there, and like if you actually like mess with their vibe, and if you do, then like that's a great place. It does get pretty packed there, but I
was like, you got to beat the line.
Yeah, there's like a key time that you want to get in. You know, you want to get in before 11.
Yes, bro. Last time I went, we was negotiating. We was like, hey, we gotta get there for 11. They get real stingy about that line.
The line gets bad.
We had a family reunion in town last summer, and we took, the cousins, the aunties to the there, and we missed the line. G, we had to slide like a couple dollars ahead to the dude at the front. He ended up letting us in. So I will say, you got some cash on you, you might be able to get in. I don't know if I was supposed to be saying that out loud like that.
Yeah, like, it's crazy the difference. Like, if you get there at like 10:45, oh, you're good.
Oh, it's empty.
10:50 is empty. 11:03. I don't think you might not make it. You might not go. You're not able. Not tonight.
Is signed completely out for the rest of the night. G, I still ain't been able to play pool at Penny Whistle.
Me neither. I don't think I'm ever gonna play pool there, to be honest.
So one thing we didn't put on the list was throw a party with your neighbors and your community. Michelle, I feel like you might be leaning into something like this more block party vibe after you went to a birthday party for the city of Chicago in McKinley Park this week. Can you tell us about what happened?
I'm a more recent resident of McKinley Park. And when I first moved in, one thing that I quickly remember was that there's a sign on 37th and Henry, which says, this is the geographic center of Chicago. And it has like a picture of the skyline and it has, quote, greatest city in America, end quote. And the sign is just such a low key landmark to me because I don't know, you don't really, I guess, like a city like Chicago is so big and you don't really ever think about what its exact center was.
And it's shifted a little bit as the city is expanded, but the sign as a celebration and remembrance is still dope.
Yeah, definitely. And so Justin Kerr from McKinley Park News moved into McKinley Park years ago. And he said that, one of the first things he noticed was, of course, the sign, similar to I did. And he kind of just wondered, like, why haven't we thrown, Chicago a birthday party at its center, right? At its heart. And it was such an interesting question. To kind of just think about, because again, when we think about birthday parties, right, we think about people. We don't necessarily think about places. And so this was the first ever Chicago birthday party at the center. He started planning this event and just started kind of reaching out to local organizations and communities to kind of say like, let's just show up to this street corner, which is like named the center of Chicago, and let's sing happy birthday. Not only in English, but in Spanish, Cantonese, Mandarin, and Polish.
Happy birthday, dear Chicago. Happy birthday to you.
It just felt really special. I think at the beginning of the program, Justin, who was kind of hosting, he had mentioned like, when he came to this idea, he was like, okay, we're going to sing happy birthday. But he was like, we can't leave out, all the people that call McKinley Park home. And so to have all these different groups come post up on this corner and just like sing and be so happy to sing to a place. Like when I heard about it, I thought it was such like a cute, but like kind of geeky like idea of just like, oh, we're just going to sing happy birthday to this place. But actually being there and like seeing the joy people had like singing happy birthday to this city. It just reminds you like how hard Chicagoans really ride for Chicago. We're all just like really happy to be here and we're all rooting for the same team, right? The same place. And that's how it felt. Afterwards, when I was talking to people were saying how they were like even felt emotional. Just seeing everyone, come just to sing. And like I mentioned, they weren't selling anything. There was no big announcements. I just feel like in recent times when we see large gatherings, it's like at the core, it's like something wrong is happening, something bad's happening. We have to bring attention to it. And in this case, like for people to gather simply to sing happy birthday to our city was truly a beautiful experience and really moving.
That's dope. Did people have their own birthday wishes for Chicago?
Absolutely. The happiest of birthdays to this wonderful city of ours. May you continue to be great and become greater every day.
I'm Joseph Vega.
From McKinley Park.
From McKinley Park.
And we'd like to say to the best city in the whole world, happy birthday, Chicago.
I wish Chicago a wonderful birthday. I think this is a fantastic city. I wish everyone in Chicago a very wonderful life and time.
City of Chicago, you're one of the most special places on the planet of the earth, and you just gotta realize it.
And happy birthday to the greatest city in the world, the city of big shoulders, #1.
Happy birthday, Chicago. I love you. You're my city. I would never leave you. I got emotional, not gonna lie. What else can I say? I love it here.
And like, this is the best city in the world. Happy birthday. This is like White Sox town. It's not Cubs, and it's the best city in the world.
My special message for Chicago on its birthday is thank you for being my sanctuary. Thank you for being my home. I've only been here, I'm 23 years old and I've been here for 21 years and it has been the best experience ever. So it's beautiful, beautiful city, and I hope we protect it forever.
Regardless of our issues, we should always be proud of our roots, our city. No city is perfect in the world, but I feel like there's a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, I love you, Chicago. Mwah.
There's cake in there too.
That was sweet, man. I needed a moment to, I don't know, man. I feel very blessed to do the work that we do. The hard stories, the fun stories, everything in between. And it is really cool to hear people just talk openly about this city and how much we love it, because I don't know, that's the thing I love most about this city is that no matter how difficult it is to navigate, there is still a pride in wanting to make it better, wanting to kind of cut off all of the BS, wanting to bridge divides, wanting to provide for people against immense pressure and obstacle. And even in that, finding ways to just like gather on a street corner and smile together from one side of the city to the next was really cool.
Really being there that night, it kind of also reminded me of like the point of birthdays, which is like, it's such a simple idea of just like celebrating or congratulating someone for just being, and like to do that for the city of Chicago, not really ask much of it in that moment, not like criticize it or, you know, look at it from like some analytical lens. Like we're just there and celebrating it being Chicago and what it is and what we know and what we love, and remind you of the love and the care that we have for our city.
As you've been listening to this conversation, we've gone through a ton of recommendations, but don't worry, if you check out our show notes, we give the name of the establishment, the neighborhood that it's in. And finally, I want to give another thank you to our producer, Michelle Navarro. Really appreciate you. Very special episode, my friend.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, I want to give a huge thank you to all of the voices we heard today. Thank you to Gail Schoenbeck, Marissa Vega, Justin Kerr, Captain Chicago, Emiliano, Wamek, Genesis, Daniela, Benjamin O, and Fabian. We appreciate y'all making time to talk with our producer, Michelle Navarro. Of course, I got some good news for you. Chicago's 22nd annual Flamenco Festival continues this weekend and throughout March with dance and music performances throughout the city. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can catch live performances in River North. For more information, check the show notes. As always, I appreciate you for reading and listening. I'm going to be back bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Chicago. Happy birthday, Chicago. Happy birthday. Now I want to hear that in Spanish. Come on.